Monday, we established that motivation is unreliable and discipline is the real foundation for consistent performance. And then yesterday, we looked at the math of compounding and how that 1% better every single day adds up dramatically over time. Today, we're going to get really practical because all of that is great in theory, but that won't get you out of bed in the morning. So let's talk about how to actually build a routine that sticks. And I want to start with something that I think trips a lot of people up, for me included at one time. When most of us think about building a new habit or a new routine, we think about motivation and willpower. We think, I just need to want it badly enough. I just need to be disciplined enough. And then when we fail to stick to something, we conclude that we just didn't want it badly enough, that we don't have the willpower. But here is what the research actually tells us. Willpower is a limited resource for everyone. It depletes throughout the day. And the people who seem to have the most discipline don't have more willpower than everybody else. They've just simply designed their environment and their routines to require less willpower to begin with. In other words, the goal is not to try harder. The goal is to make the right thing easier to do. So, how do we do that, you're asking? Well, the first strategy is something James Clear, again, that's the author of Atomic Habits, calls habit stacking. So the idea is simple. You will attach a new habit to an existing one. So you're going to piggyback the new habit onto something that you already do automatically. So let me give you an example. If you already make your coffee every morning, that's your anchor. And you could stack your power statement practice right on top of it. So while the coffee brews, 30 seconds, say your power statement, use some big body language, done. You didn't have to find extra time. You didn't have to rely on remembering. You just attach the new habit to an old one and then let the old habit do the heavy lifting. So think about your own daily routine right now. What do you already do every day without thinking? Brush your teeth, make coffee, feed your horses, get in the car. Well, each one of those is a potential anchor for a mindset habit. Again, a power statement, gratitude practice, a moment of visualization, fit in a podcast episode. So stack something intentional onto something that's already automatic. And you've just made consistency like a whole lot easier. Now, the second strategy is to make it so small that it's almost impossible to say no. One of the biggest mistakes people make when building new routines is that they start too big. They commit to an hour of journaling, a 30-minute meditation, or like a full visualization session. But inevitably, life happens and that kind of whole attempt collapses. And then they feel like failures. So instead, we want to start embarrassingly small, like not 5 minutes of mindset work. How about just 2 minutes? Not a full visualization, but like one deep breath and one clear image of what you want to achieve. Not an entire morning routine overhaul, but maybe one new thing added to what you already do. So the goal in the beginning is not to get the big result. The goal is the repetition. So you are teaching your brain that this is just something you do every single day without exception. And once that identity piece is there, like once you are just someone who does this every day, you can gradually expand the habit and add other things or make it longer. So the bottom line, you do not need a perfect morning routine. You need a consistent one, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, but you're just going to do it every single day. Because you know what I'm going to say, doing a little bit every day adds up to a lot. So let's close today with our power statement. I'll say it, you repeat it after me. Sit up tall, use some big body language, and say it out loud if you can. I strive for 1% improvement every day. So tomorrow, we're going to tackle one of the most common challenges in building any kind of consistency. So what do we do when motivation disappears and commitment is all we have left?